When we talked about the original Switch's monumental first year, it was surprising to remember how many big launches Nintendo dropped in the first few months of its new console's lifespan. With the Switch 2, Nintendo looks to be repeating history, as just over a month after the console's launch date, we're getting Donkey Kong Bananza. The first 3D Donkey Kong adventure since Donkey Kong 64 on the Nintendo 64, over 25 years ago, Bonanza looks to scratch the itch for the Nintendo 3D platformer we've been pining for since Bowser's Fury released with the Switch port of Super Mario 3D World in 2021, which in turn only minorly tied us over after the phenomenon that was 2017 Super Mario Odyssey. Speaking of Odyssey, there's some similar vibes in Bonanza, and when I played DK's new title at the London hands-on event, this brand new game felt very familiar. So let's take a closer look at the Switch 2's first major post-launch first-party release. Hal from GamesRadar here, and welcome to Switch On, where we talk all things Nintendo Switch 2. While I surprised even myself with how much I enjoyed Mario Kart World, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on the Nintendo Switch 2 really impressed with its graphics and performance, none of the games I played for the new Nintendo console filled me with as much maniacal glee as Donkey Kong Bananza, the new 3D Donkey Kong title that's all about digging holes and breaking blocks. This is coming from someone who can appreciate a good Donkey Kong game, but isn't an aficionado by any means. I played my fair share of the Rare-developed games, for example, but I've no strong attachment to the character beyond an undying Smash Bros. Affiliated hatred. I was excited to see the announcement, but had no specific emotional attachment to it. It is good that Donkey Kong is getting a new game, but after playing through roughly 20 minutes of Donkey Kong Bananza, it has quickly shot up the list of my most anticipated upcoming Switch 2 games. It would be reductive to say that Donkey Kong Bananza is just a Nintendo version of popular hole-digging games like Minecraft, just to name one example. But the influence is fairly clear. The whole premise is based around DK being a miner of sorts that digs up golden bananas, as one does, and other valuables before getting caught up in some kind of scheme from a sinister group called Voidco. While my demo only touched on the earliest parts of Donkey Kong Bananza, the initial mining area serving as a tutorial, before opening up to a gorgeous underwater lagoon, the emphasis on the destructible environment was immediately clear. Nearly everything in your path can be smashed through by DK, whether that's going down by diving or slapping, up by jumping, to the side by punching, or you get the idea. There are some materials that are more sturdy than others, but even earlier on, some of that could be cleared by grabbing explosive rocks and tossing them at the tougher objects and enemies. In practice, there are clear objectives that might align with a traditional platformer. Get to this place, find this item, traverse this area, but because so much of the game's map can be stomped through in one way or another, I regularly found myself completely ignoring whatever I was supposed to be doing in favor of just digging around to see what I could discover. I found buried treasure chests, an abundance of gold, hidden fossils, prism challenges, and even an entire second level hidden underground. I only got a brief glimpse of the latter though before the demo version walked me back upstairs. The way Bonanza handles and presents itself is probably where it's the most similar to Odyssey. The colorful expansive levels, the UI, traversal moveset, even the way DK interacts with NPCs strewn across the world. It's all out of Nintendo's handbook of what makes a 3D sandbox style platformer. Odyssey really set the bar with just how much content was crammed into its various vibrant levels. With nearly 900 unique power moons to collect over the course of the game, the total reaching 999, including those buyable in each level's shop. Odyssey just kept going, even after the credits rolled, and besides a handful of laborious mini-games, it never felt like a chore. And it's this near perpetuity that seems to return in Bonanza. There's collectibles everywhere, and various sub-objectives to climb, roll, and smash your way to find. The result is a game that feels designed to make hours feel like minutes, in the most satisfying way possible. It speaks to the Nintendo Switch 2's hardware's performance that I never saw any graphical dips or issues no matter how many blocks I had DK slam through, or how fast for that matter. Little pieces of the environment flooded the screen with more being produced constantly, and yet the Switch 2 took it all in stride, despite the fact that rendering a bunch of small destructible objects can be a logistical nightmare. What's also pretty impressive is your 3D map updates in real time to reflect your destructive mayhem, so navigation won't be a nightmare when you've flattened an entire area. It's worth noting that while the trailers showcase a little purple rock buddy on DK's shoulder, Oddrock. My demo only included that character for a brief period of time, and so I'm unable to speak to what it does exactly or how useful it might be. In my case, I was near the end of the demo area and I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go. By holding down a button, musical notes appeared from my PAL and guided me in the correct direction, allowing me to pinpoint exactly where a key was and start actively working towards it. Despite having a good time with Donkey Kong Bananza, it does stick out a bit from the rest of the Switch 2 Direct's reveals. While ostensibly a big first-party release, it's not part of the immediate launch lineup. Looking at it through a different lens, however, maybe Nintendo knows it's good, and releasing a month after the Switch 2 hardware puts it in a strong position to be the first truly new game someone picks up for the console after launch. It's a big slot to fill, and one many will have no doubt thought Metroid Prime 4 would take. When we look at the Switch 2 games set to release in 2025, Donkey Kong Bananza has its unique place as a single-player, first-party title that feels Nintendo with its bright, cartoony aesthetic and simple yet gripping gameplay design. The fact it's giving everyone's favorite gorilla a chance to shine in the 3D space again, that's just icing on the cake. So, Mario Kart World, then Donkey Kong Bananza, with even more on the way. The Switch 2's first year is certainly looking to live up to its older siblings' legacy. But what do you think? Will you be picking up Donkey Kong Bananza? Are you excited to let loose and completely level its colorful environments? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time on Switch On.